I decided to write my essay on the arguments and ideas surrounding corrective production tools used in the music industry today. I mainly focused on pitch correction and its use in vocal tracks in Western music, as this seems to be the most controversial process currently used and has many arguments surrounding it. In this presentation, I will discuss a few points to do with pitch correction. Pitch correction is a process used in music production that detects the pitch of an audio signal and snaps it to the nearest semitone, allowing the user to correct slight errors in pitch from audio tracks. It is most popularly used in vocal tracks in Western music, though it can be used on any type of audio, as long as the pitch can be detected by the plugin. There are several main features that are available on most pitch correction plugins. Here are the main few I have come across. Detection controls. These can be adjusted to help the plugin focus in on the right frequencies for detecting the pitch of the input audio. Scale input. This allows you to select a scale or input your own scale for the audio to snap to. This means that if you input the scale of the backing track, then any notes the vocals snap to will be in the right key. MIDI input is a feature which on most allows you to link the pitch correction software with a MIDI track to map out the notes for the vocals to snap to. This feature takes more control in where the vocal pitch is taken, but can end up being quite a long-winded process depending on what you use it for. Vibrato on most plugins allows you to add a touch of vibrato to the voice to try and humanise it a bit. You can usually adjust every aspect of the vibrato to get it to sound right, and this depends on what plugin you get and how detailed it is. The attack allows you to adjust how quickly the pitch correction kicks in. This is probably the most important control in allowing you to make the pitch correction sound subtle, as there is a delicate balance between not having it kick in quickly enough or having it kick in too quick and making the vocalist sound like a robot. To attain the Cher effect, as in the effect used on her voice during the song Believe, all you do is set the attack to the quickest setting possible. This is how T-Pain and other R&B and rap artists have also got this effect. The release is important as it can mean the difference between smooth notes and unsmooth notes. The rise and development of auto-tune. Before plugins for pitch correction were invented, producers were able to tweak the pitch of a section of audio track, but this was very time-consuming. It was easier just to record a large amount of takes until you got some good ones. In 1997, Antares released their first auto-tune plugin, which allowed the user to subtly and automatically adjust the pitch of an audio track, to make it more correct and in tune. This is probably the most well-known pitch correction plugin, and is still one of the most popular used today. It was probably the most well-known pitch correction plugin to be able to work in real time. This meant it could be used for live performances, running a vocalist through it before they were heard through the speakers. The Antares Auto-Tune plugin is constantly being updated and re-released, and is still very popular among producers. At present, there are many types of pitch correction plugin available, including freeware versions such as G-Snap. G-Snap is very easy to use and gives the user a very large amount of control with vocals. G-Snap and other free versions of pitch correction software have brought the process to the mass market by making it very widely available and easy to use. Therefore, it is no longer used just for big pop stars. It can also be used for home recording, giving the added advantage that if someone writes and produces good music but they can't sing very well, they can pitch correct themselves so they don't damage the quality of their work with bad vocals. The creative production element. Pitch correction was first most famously used as a vocal effect in the song Believe by Cher. Her producer attained this effect by adjusting the response time of the pitch correction to make it kick in as soon as possible. This gives an odd robotic sound to the vocals in parts of the song where it has been applied, where the vocals are snapped to the nearest semitone almost immediately. Here is a section of the song.
What am I supposed to do? Sit around and wait for you? Well, I can't do that. There's no turning back. I need time to move on. I need love to feel strong. 'Cause I've had time to think it through.
Other artists then adopted this effect and used it throughout their work. One example is T-Pain, who used this effect throughout most of his songs. This means that while sounding robotic, he is given the ability to sing in tune, and this sound has become very famous in R&B and rap over the last decade. Kanye West's latest album features him singing throughout instead of his usual heartfelt raps. He pulled this off with a very large amount of pitch correction in place. However, his live performances have let him down when singing from this album, as he is noticeably not a good singer, according to the reviews. The moral argument. Many people feel autotune has brought a fair amount of dishonesty to music today, letting artists become much better singers on record than they actually are. Here is a quick example of how pitch correction can be used to improve vocals. There will be two samples played. The first will be without pitch correction, and the second will be with pitch correction applied.
Walking the streets with you and your worn out jeans, I can't help thinking this is how it ought to be. Laughing on a bar bench, thinking to myself, hey, isn't this easy? And you got a smile that walking the streets with you and your worn out jeans, I can't help thinking this is how it ought to be. Laughing on a bar bench, thinking to myself, hey, isn't this easy? And you got a smile that
The singing on the first sample is not very easy to listen to, though on the second sample it is noticeably much easier to listen to, as it snaps to the scale in which the song is in. Artists can now have an airbrushed voice to go with their airbrushed image, and while this doesn't bother some people, others don't agree with it and have actually set up groups that are against autotune. Due to this, some artists are now putting stickers on the front of their albums saying, "There has been no pitch correction used on this album." In my opinion, as long as the music is good, it should not matter, but there are a few issues that are still a problem, such as the audience expectations being raised after hearing such apparent high-quality vocal control. To conclude, pitch correction technology has only been around for just over a decade. However, it has cut deep into the way the mainstream music industry works as a whole. When used subtly, it improves artists' vocals, which has been argued to be an advantage to the production process by saving time by trying to record the perfect take. However, many people argue that this is dishonest and dehumanises the artist. This is the music equivalent of airbrushing a photo of a model, and has come about from the pursuit of perfection in producing. On a more positive note, its creative uses have greatly influenced the R&B music scene, creating a very distinctive sound used by a lot of well-known artists. It also gives a lot of control to a vocal part, giving more options to a more creative producer. Although at the end of the day, it cannot be uninvented, and being so widely available, more and more people have access to it and can benefit from its advantages, and find new ways to make new sounds with the technology. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.